Hey guys, what is going on? We are departing from depressing blood centric shit like the previous couple of videos have been. We are doing a commentary track for Lost in Space from 1998. This is a terrible movie. It sucks ass. But I watched it so many times as a kid. It literally put tears in my eyes. It was a very inspiring movie to me. It had a lot of utopic, science fiction, idyllic kind of ideas woven into it. And I still have a nostalgic attachment to this movie, so I'm doing a commentary on it. Because, I think it's cool. I think it's neato. So this is 2058, and we are constructing some kind of gate to try to teleport us to a new Earth. That's the premise. And the music in this, man, my God, the music in this. Ooh. Seems there's been an explosion, my God. Must be terrorists. They straight up, mention terrorists right away in this. It's programming for the whole Iraq War era. And then we have a Borg-looking dude here, holy shit. And then we have Joey from Friends. Joey! If anybody could defend Earth against cybernetic Borg terrorists, it would be Joey and this black guy, I don't know his name. It's a mutant suicide squad from Fallout 4. They gave them spaceships. This is some crazy shit. Honestly, for 98, the CGI is not bad. And I love that the ships are like these glass orbs with weapons. It's like if you get hit, you're fucked either way, so we're just gonna put you in a glass orb. Your pineal gland is flying free. You gen techs are ugly up close. They're genetically engineered. Ooh! My black and white painted checkerboard Illuminati cannon will kill you. Booger one dispatched. I blew my nose. God, this guy's voice? I don't know the actor's name. God damn, it's good. It's so grizzled, man. I'm on jettison drive core. It's so fucking... It's like he's smoked since he was 5. I love this shit. This is so fucking late 90s, man. God damn. He's a ranger from Fallout 4. I love the fucking blunt, rough, casual delivery of the dialogue. The writing, you can say it's shit, I won't disagree, but the delivery is good. This movie, honestly, this whole movie is like Dane Cook personified as a film. Because the delivery is so much better than the writing that it elevates it. It's like, man, you really delivered this like you gave a shit. And it matters. It's just... Give you a little kiss, don't take this the wrong way. He's like, I'm not gay, bro, even though we fucked before the mission. I said no homo, it's fine. And I love the Star Wars-inspired, B-Wing crafts in this. And they've got, World War II, paint on them. It's so creative, man. It's cringe, it's corny, it's dated. Yes, it is. I will not disagree. But goddamn if it's not interesting, if it's not unique. Again, this movie, I'm going to praise it unduly because I have a nostalgic attachment to it. Fair warning, fucking trigger warning. I'm going to praise this more than it deserves. But there are aspects of this movie that I think are done better than a lot of subsequent movies that are similar. They're living in some kind of cringy pseudo mid-mod house. This kid's got a fucking iPad where 90% of the device is taken up by plastic, and the screen is like this tiny ass thing. Now this kid's gotten in trouble with his school. I love this shit. He's the mischievous Dennis the Menace guy. And even during the PSA, during the parental meeting, he's hacking the fucking video feed of his teacher to give her like a Rambo body and then a bikini body. The changing shape of education. God damn, man. Where is this now? And this woman's like, I'm your mom and I love you and you deserve punishment, but this is so funny, I need to tell you to stop because I'm laughing so much I can't I can't maintain the facade of parental discipline. That's great, man. And then we cut from that little sort of media-based hologram type of performative scene to the father, who reminds me of Father from Fallout 4. He even looks like him. Isn't that interesting? And he's devoted to science. He's devoted to the advancement of humanity through science, which sounds a lot like seance. Remember that. If you remember anything from any of my videos, science and seance sound really similar, don't they? Phonically, they're very similar terms, even though they're spelled differently. It's almost like they refer to the same thing. Oh, and then we have totally not Saturn. Oh, we can all live on the surface of Saturn. I'm sure we can. We could live on its moons. Maybe we already are. But not on the surface, man. The surface is pretty harsh. But anyway, Father from Fallout 4 / the dad character from the show is saying, we need a gateway. We need gateways that are attuned. We need specific, precise, focused gateways. If our gateways aren't focused, they'll just shit us out in the void somewhere. And then, of course, we have this clearly militaristic guy. What, dude? You couldn't have worn a suit to the PR event? You had to wear your military fatigues? Again, very Fallout universe. The military is not even disguising their relationship with scientists. And this chick, my God, when I was a kid watching this, when I was like 12, 13, God, I wanted to fuck this chick. Oh my God, dude. Everybody who watched this when they were fucking early teens guy wanted to fuck this chick. And I'm no different. Whew. God damn. Now she's going to do a vlog. Penny Vision. This is the kind of chick who listens to... She goes to MCR concerts, but she pays for the backstage tickets. She goes full ham. She goes full into it. And her brother's effectively trolling her, man. He's like a future 4chaner. Good thing they got him off planet. He would have been a 4chaner if they hadn't taken him off planet. Now she's giving him a fucking SCP narrative about dying in space. Also, your skin wouldn't inflate. Your blood boils, but your skin freezes, so you end up shattering. And I love this. The guy, this kid, this genius kid, whose dad is also a genius, and doesn't hate him. It's not that the dad doesn't love them. It's that he's devoted to his work, so he's away a lot. That's just how it is. But I love the detail in the movie where they use science awards that they've won to rebel. Pretend not to fighting or blow 10 years worth of allowance at the mall. Why would you go to a mall? Why wouldn't you go to a strip club? I guess they couldn't do that in this. That's where this chick is actually going, for real. She's got a fake ID. But anyway, rubber banding back to what we just saw, the kids use their science awards to rebel. I love that. They use the sharp edges of the award objects to cut their way out of total patriarchal submission. They use the intellectual discipline that they've been taught to create a way of rebelling. Very interesting. I love that shit. And again, let's go back to the show. The dad is meeting with the military, which is, of course, his #1 backer. I'm sure they're funding the whole thing. the aesthetic of this whole area looks like some kind of Babylon 5 shit, or like some kind of sci-fi channel early 2000s type of thing. It also looks like Fallout. I'm just going to keep saying that about things because I like my comparison of the dad with the father from Fallout 4. I like that. And again, this whole movie's corny. The dialogue is shit. I'm not even going to talk about it. If you have criticisms of it, I agree with you. I agree with every criticism of this movie that you might advance. I'm doing this commentary for fun. And this guy's kind of confused. He's like, well, recycling is real, but space travel's fake. And this guy goes, it's the opposite. Recycling is fake. Space travel is real. We actually have to get out of here. If we don't, we're fucked as a species. The space travel psyop was a psyop covering up a real space mission. That's why it was necessary. You don't psyop something unless there's a real thing happening that's almost exactly the same as the psyop. The recycling shit is cope. Recycling in general is cope. We're already fucked. Very bleak. And this guy is pissed off because his friend died. And he goes, I gave my friend a gay sex bump to keep him on the military, roster. And the commander goes, well, you endangered a $10 million spacecraft doing that. And the guy goes, yeah, I did. And father from Fallout 4 goes, you know what? I like this guy. He's a family man. He likes his gay friends to benefit if he trusts them. That's a cool Masonic trait. And then here we have Dr. Smith, the best casting choice in the whole fucking thing. This guy's performance in this is what makes me want to talk about this movie in the first place. And they're in some kind of Arabian desert AI background. And this guy's like, where the fuck's my money? I'm a mercenary, I killed the guy. And he's like, well, they found another replacement. And he's like, well, as a mercenary, reasonably, I'm going to demand more money because you're asking me to kill another target. As a mercenary, that's not an unreasonable thing. But he also says, he goes above his pay grade. He goes, if you want me to kill somebody else, I'm going to double my price or whatever. Bad move, man. You should have just said, okay, I'll kill the other guy for the same rate. But then the movie wouldn't happen. And now, this, again, like even the medical uniforms, the Institute doctors in Fallout 4 wear lab coats that look exactly like the lab coats these guys are wearing. It's just a shared science fiction aesthetic, but I love it. I'm talking about the lackey that led Dr. Smith into this room here. And so now they're laying out the command structure. They've got, again, very Fallout 4 looking robots floating around. Oh, the Jupiter ship. Yes. Jupiter is better than Saturn, I'll say it. It's a bigger gas giant. There's more planets for real estate. If you're a Saturn cuck, there's fewer planets. There's less real estate. Be a Jupiter cuck. It's better. They're both failed suns. Interpreting that phrase in every possible way you could interpret it. Which means that they'll eventually be converted into dwarf stars if they haven't already. And the planets around them will be human real estate at some point. The point is Jupiter is a better bet. Saturn is probably positioned in a different orientation. There's probably more risk for meteor impact or something. And I love this. This woman, this actress, is a famous actress that her name escapes me. But of course, Joey from Friends is totally smitten with her immediately. He's like, you're a Pleiadian, aren't you? And he goes, I'm heavy because my cock weighs so much, my dear. West, the Western society. Oh, I've read about you. Your society collapsed because you were too retarded to understand the Eastern adage. And then she straight up quotes a Confucian line. She goes, "Those who can't think, fight." She's literally criticizing a guy named West with Eastern wisdom. That's great, man. Man, I'm so glad I'm watching this again. I can schizo interpret it in so many new ways. It's a lot of fun for me. Hope it's fun for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be a long flight, bro. She's not going to fuck you. The flight will be twice as long. Now we have Dad coming home and his son named Will, aka the Nietzschean will, the Übermensch will, his willpower, the thing he's leaving in the universe to represent his own presence. He has neglected it. And his MILF-core wife comes down and goes, "Well, your son won another award. He published another book. He won another sports tournament. And you weren't here to see it. Look at this thing he's made. You don't even understand it. You're a scientist and you don't even get it. You're so blind, man. You poor fuck." And this guy's like, "This whole thing's about preserving our family. It's about preserving the white race." No, that's not what he's saying. He's basically saying we need to colonize another planet. And it's like, your son's acting out. He's doing all sorts of crazy shit just to talk to you, because you won't talk to him, because you don't know how. Two kids who are leaving a planet behind. Imagine the stress of that. I love this USA rocket-shaped cake. No one's ate it. No one's cut into it. It's just this ornament in the middle of the room. And he's like, saving a world is not worth it unless we can save a family. That's true. Looks like a good cake, though. I would eat a slice of it. God, those wine glasses, though, they are cringe. They are very 90s. It's 2085, but we still use 90s wine glasses. And the dad comes to the kid's room. He's like, "I'm sorry. I'm going to whisper in your ear while you're asleep." As if that's compensation, man. Creepy shit, too. It's kind of weird. Talk to me while I'm awake. Look me in the eye. Or don't talk to me at all. That's why he hasn't said anything to him. He can't look him in the eye. Can't acknowledge the son he's created. Can't come to terms with his own act of reproduction. He shouldn't have been a father in the first place. I love this. Dr. Smith is stowed away in a epic science fiction crate. Now he's crawling through the tubes of the future. Crawling through the anus of the machine to wind up in the bowels. But, now he's ascended. He's in another nervous cluster. He's crawled his way out of the bowels. Good man. Now he's going to reprogram the brain. Bowel to brain. Very insidious progression. And I love his dialogue. He's like, "You need to be woke. Your Blue Hexagon OS, your Linux Blue Hexagon OS, will accept my commands." He calls him a centurion, like the Roman centurions, the Romans that killed Christ. Interesting they chose that term. These movies are very corny and they're very badly written, but they still carry a certain hidden signal of communication. A certain symbolic thread. They're very interesting. "Give my regards to oblivion." Great line. Dramatic, but very good. And then, oops, your creepy globalist Klaus Schwab controller, it turns out he was using you and he's now going to discard you. Imagine that. It's almost like it was obvious. He goes, "Oh, I'm so grateful for you. Gratitude is such a high emotion. I'm going to pretend to be divine by expressing fake gratitude to you right before I kill you." "You've been black-rocked, my friend. Ooh! Throw it away! Don't touch it! Oh!" I love the grisly nature of this series in general, how it portrays Earth as this dusty, rusty, brown and yellow piss and shit colored realm. It's so brutally honest. It's great. And this chick's like, "Tell me you have My Chemical Romance on my iPod." Man, I gotta say it, the anus aperture of this, it's pretty cool. "The Jupiter Poopiter is about to be shat into space, so let's all watch with bated breath." Man, that city background, man, that is like, it's like a Chinese city. Maybe it is. Maybe they're in China. Who knows? Well, it's good the artificial gravity is at 100%. Wouldn't be good if it was at 85% or 66% or 33%. She's like, "I have faith in your scientific mind. Just protect our children. I don't care that you've neglected them. Just make sure they live." This guy's like a football announcer or some shit. He's like, "Joey, Phoebe and Chandler have chosen to stay on Earth. Are you okay with leaving them behind?" He goes, "Yeah, this career opportunity is definitely going to catapult me into stardom." It didn't. This movie failed horribly. This movie crashed and burned like a failed spacecraft, man. But you know what? I have sympathy for failed spacecraft. I think their merits are often ignored by people trying to build new spacecraft. There might be insights that they had that have been ignored because the overall craft failed. And if you ignore them, you're depriving yourself of potential knowledge, potential benefits. "Don't sweat it, Doc. I've fucked many women. I know how to not come too early." And she goes, "I do have 90s lip gloss on, but I'm going to resist you." She's hot, man. She should resist this guy. She should play hard to get. She's got a lot to offer, man. God damn. You know? And ooh, they're being bound into their cuck cages for cryostasis. They're being given an Apple Vision Pro to give them fake dreams, which is what reality is. You are basically one of these people. You're on a floating ship in space, and reality is an illusion. And the monkey flips the switch. Again, corny line, but man, I gotta love it. I love how blunt this movie is in its language. It's very like human. It's so dirty that it seems like, well, it's like, how could these people have gotten to space? And it's like, well, they got to space because they accepted that part of themselves. And then this shitty shell with shitty CGI blows off, and we have the real spacecraft underneath. Jupiter 1. Shout out to Jupiter, man. Hell yeah. Again, the music for this, goddamn, it's so triumphant. It's so science fiction. Classic sci-fi, like triumphant trumpet music. It's great. This guy's doing this all alone. There's kind of a creepy stalker-esque kind of atmosphere where everybody else is frozen and he's the last guy to go to sleep. Kind of a creepy role. 10 years is a lifetime. And I love this line of his, corny as it is. He's like, I never liked these sleeping tubes. They give you bad dreams. Damn. Consenting to a bad dream. I love this like modernist thing where they're like, we're going to display the hypersleep people like they're fucking ornaments on the wall. Weird shit. But a parasite has snuck his way on board. Ooh. But his sins are burned into his left hand. Too late, bro. You really wanted to be a parasite. You wanted to exploit this family. Turns out you're gonna follow them on their journey. And now, the robot he programmed to kill the golems is gonna kill him too. He was arrogant, he was hubristic. He thought he could sneak his way onto the ship and kill all the inhabitants. Now he's knocked out. The red pineal gland evil robot is going to destroy everything. I think the voice they got for this robot is a famous voice actor. I'm pretty sure that's the case. They got somebody who had some experience and some clout. Now our parasite friend, in a roundabout way, is saving the people that he originally wanted to sacrifice. It's almost like a rebel parasite, even if they're just trying to defend their own life, might save the people they've infected. Oh, God. Creepy shit, man. This robot prop, this is damn good, man. This looks so much more realistic than anything from the fucking Fallout series. Like, I'd rather watch this. It's better. That's it, Joey. Phoebe would have loved that. She would have played you a guitar ballad in the coffee shop from Friends. Good for you, bro. God damn, the smoky environments of this, I love it. God, she's like, look away, you're about to be killed. And of course, the Wunderkind kid saves his whole family. If the family won't come to the science fair, bring the science fair to the family. You're more of a man than your father is. They still haven't seen Smith. They still haven't found the parasite. This motherfucker, he pretends to be injured. He pretends to be a victim. How insidious. And then he gives them a false narrative. But his left hand betrays him. I love that. I love that he tries to worm his way out, but he's burned with the brand of his sin. That's great, man. Now his only way of justifying his existence is saying, I have demonic knowledge, I have arcane knowledge, I can save this chick. Your dark wizard goatee is very obvious, my friend. And now another problem shows up. Again, this movie's great because it doesn't stop. There's always a new problem right away. The pacing of it is good. The writing's terrible, but the pacing is good. The writing is like a football stadium interstitial advertisement. It's that bad. But the pacing is good. Visuals are good too. They hold up. For me, anyway. It's the world behind the world. Lie once, cheat twice, everything becomes clear. He says, lying is a... This is really interesting. He's saying that lying is a way of living. He's not saying it's morally justifiable. He's saying lying is an actual mode of being. That's a hell of a thing to say. He's saying, I've taken the James Figueras pill. And to preserve my own life, I will truthfully save this chick. I will tell the truth when it benefits me. Very, very evil soul that will use truth only when it benefits its vessel. And he's being professional. He's using his knowledge. He's trying to save this chick. Meanwhile, the ship is fucking about to enter the sun. I mean, this is fucking insane. The stakes in this are so nuts. As corny as it is, movies don't even bother with this anymore, man. They don't even bother to have, like, crazy stakes like this. He straight up starts punching her in the tits. He's like, I'll do caveman CPR. And his motivation is not to save her, but to save himself. And ironically, creepily, his motivation saves her life. The motivation of a selfish demon saves the life of an innocent. Isn't that interesting? I love the burnt lighting in the fucking cockpit. The ship's about to fucking melt. Gotta use hyperdrive. They're gonna shoot through the sun. There's a Samuel R. Delany book called Nova, where the characters in the book mine a rare element that's produced when stars go supernova, so they have to fly the ship through the sun to mine that element. This scene is making reference to that. And I saw this when I was a kid. I didn't know about the Samuel Delany novel till way later. This scene is so much cooler to me now that I assume the writers who wrote this probably knew about that flying through the sun concept that Delany established. It's so crazy, man. It's nuts. They go through the sun like Icarus. And there's this greasy, dated CGI type of interstitial period where we see them floating. I like this. It would be greasy. The lines of motion that you would see would blur reality. You would see things as if they're greasy, fake CGI objects. It justifies its own datedness unintentionally. And I love that. It holds up despite not intending to. That's fucking great, man. His daughter, she's trying to impress her dad. She's like, I'm a scientist too, Daddy. He goes, hey, you have to have emotions too, I love you. Don't become a robot. And this fucking psychopath is like, ooh, you're so addicted to family. Because, like, how much did they pay you to kill us? What was the price? What did your merchant masters offer you to fuck us? But his whole family's watching. You can't just execute the guy. And this guy's taunting him. He's like, you can't kill the man without becoming the monster. Blah, blah, blah. And this guy's like, no, you know what? I won't kill you. I'll just lock you away. I'll just let you rot. Death would be a mercy for you. You get to rot. You get a long, slow death. And then his wife asks the $1,000,000 question, where the fuck are we? Where's our family been ejected to? Yeah, she hasn't thawed in the way you want her to thaw, bro. Your innuendo is, weak. Because you blasted through the sun. Christ the Son, Lucifer the Son, you went beyond them both. Neither of them have guidance for you now. You're actually free of them. You're in actual outer space. Is that concern I detect in your voice? Again, they play this too much like a sitcom, but at the same time, there's a human quality to the dialogue that I feel like is lost in a lot of more recent sci-fi shows like this that are not supposed to be totally serious. It's not that everything needs to be a Joss Whedon quip fest, but lines like this, real people say them in real situations of pain and stress to relieve stress. So it's realistic if your characters occasionally, are sarcastic or make a quip. When you lose that, you lose the sense that the people you're watching are real people. If they're all super militaristic, emotionless drones, then the whole series falls apart, whether it's a show on TV or a movie or even a series of movies. Your human characters have to be human. But there also has to be a plot. There has to be an artificial series of events. That's the tension that has to be navigated. The series that does that the best is Deadwood, bar none. I mean, True Detective Season 1 has nothing on Deadwood. Deadwood is almost perfect. I love that this kid's like, have you met our parents? That's great. Then he hacks into her little diary. She's like, you're not old enough to see that. I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. She's so thin, god damn. What happened to this actress that she was able to be that thin? She's like a skeleton. Poor girl. He's like, the demon I've locked away in a tiny room could still destroy us. He says, maybe I shouldn't let him live. And then the wife, of course, she's being very idealistic, very idyllic, very utopian by saying, well, we can't just kill things that are evil. Maybe, I don't know. His wife's like a bull dyke. She's super assertive, man. He picked a very masculine wife. Maybe she's a tranny, who knows? It appears to be an anus. And this Joey fuck, this Han Solo ass idiot just straight up goes into the anomaly. What an idiot. That could have vaporized the ship. Yeah, Lucifer, let there be light. Let us go into territory we're not ready to go into. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's part of the challenge of reality. But, you know, this guy literally jumped the gun. Not a ballsy thing to do, a reckless thing to do. But he finds a ship. It's named the Prostate. And this gets so creepy, man. The whole arc with the derelict ship. It's part of why I love this movie even now. It's why I come back to it. Because this is a genuinely creepy scene. There's a human-made ship that they don't recognize. Just that premise alone is interesting, right? It's like, well, this was a human-made thing, but it's out of time. It doesn't make sense. And then there's an alien ship attached to it. And we don't see the whole object. We just see little lights on it. Sorry, guys, I have the hiccups. We don't see the whole ship. We just see glimpses of it. Cringy line, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Right after he says that, we cut to this, like, 14-year-old actress. I hate to think what might have been going on behind the scenes during this movie. I hope nothing abusive went on, but that's a thin hope. Joey's character, the actor, he'd be like, she wanted it, she asked for it, bro. Woody Allen and Steven Spielberg were there filming it. It was fine. They all said it was okay. It's all good in the Hollywood. Ugh, he gives her a wink? Ew. She bites her lip. She's supposed to be like 14. I think the actress is also 14 in this. And she goes, no, he's too old. And I love it. Smith is just randomly smashing things like the Joker. He's like, oh, how about if I just break everything? What an idiot. Why is he doing that? It's like the series wanted to portray him as insane. He's not that crazy. He's a doctor. He wouldn't be randomly breaking things he could potentially use to escape. This scene is insane. It's stupid. I'm a doctor, not a space explorer. Oh, Gary Oldman. Every role you've played has been a good one, even this one. I love this line. That's a good line. Give me an excuse to kill you. Fuck, man. Corny, but good. In the tone of this movie, it's a damn good line. Again, every line in this movie is like it's like an attempt at a Joss Whedon quip. It doesn't even get to that level. But, man, I still like this movie, I gotta say. It's a product of my time. The kid straight up pranks his dad, and it could have fucking destroyed his robot. Very dumb thing to do. The kid's like, I understand computers better than you, Dad. You should listen to me now and then. God damn it, the metal armor. Just wait. That metal neck thing that Joey has from Friends. Ooh, it's cool. There's a lot of aesthetic things in this movie that I like. I like the design of the objects, whether they're physical or CGI. There we go, the helmets. Look at that scaled. It's like an armadillo. Like it's fucking great. It's gritty and military, but it's also futuristic. It does both. It traffics in both aesthetics. I love that. That's awesome. And the long spacesuit visors. And then Smith being fucking creepy. He's like, oh, it smells like ghosts. It's a creepy line. It's a good line. If you were a creepy weirdo who was supposed to kill the family that has now imprisoned you, you might want to fuck with them by saying creepy shit. I like that. It's consistent with his character. Makes sense. And the lighting in this is good too. It's very noir. It's very dark. Their robot is like a tank. It's like they're going into a war zone. They've got a fucking Windows XP media player aesthetic to the robot UIs. Like the drip, drip of blood. That line, man, it's burned into my brain. You really need to shut up. I love how he delivers that. Again, the delivery of a lot of the lines is great. She's acting like Spock. And there's a really corny line, man. It's like out of a cartoon where he goes, evil knows evil. Fucking hell, man. That's cringe. On that note, guys, I'm going to cut the recording off because I got the hiccups something fierce. And I'm tired of trying to commentate on this while I have them. So, maybe I'll come back once they've gone away. Either way, we are at 50 minutes exactly. 1, 2, 3. Peace out. And we are back, just like that, with more Lost in Space from 1998, brought back to you like a vintage wine recovered from an ancient Italian vault. So, our epic characters have arrived at the prostate ship, which has been creepily infected by some sort of alien presence. Someone didn't use their prep. Someone's got dead virus. And there's a robot that looks a lot like our robot character. Gary Oldman, man. Gary Oldman was recently in a really great series that I want to recommend to everybody watching this. It's called Slow Horses. It's a very good spy thriller with some dry-witted comedy woven into it. And it's actually good. It's not ironically good or, so bad it's good. It's actually worth your time. Slow Horses, check it out. It's 3 seasons of it. They're very easy to not torrent at all and definitely get legitimately. Ooh, and here we have our Fallout 4 father character's courser friend. He's going to track down all the rogue synths. I want this as part of the exposition. I have done this mission so I can find my friend. The audience needs to know this. Wow, the data's corrupted on this futuristic ship from the future. They didn't have their RAID array set up right. Maybe they were using RAID 0 or some kind of stupid shit. Meanwhile, Dr. Smith just runs away and starts fucking looting things. None of our characters are paying attention to him. Very convenient for the plot. Ooh, but there's a 3D scan of a nasty egg. It's the virus known as chlamydia. This whole ship needs a good dose of cranberry juice. Somehow Smith noticed these and we didn't get a scene of him actually looking at them. So it comes across as contrived bullshit. But you know what? Smith's an evil fuck. That's what the series wants you to think is the excuse. He saw them but didn't inform anyone. Maybe there was a scene of him doing that. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I could have missed it, but I don't think I did. Ooh, and now they're going into the Garden of Eden. It's a little overgrown. No one's been here for a while. Garden of Eden is hidden in the prostate. It's where God hid it. You have to kind of dig it out of there. The robot's fucking, straight up lifting him up off the ground. I love the robot prop in this, man. It's a real object. It's a real thing. In contrast, this fucking thing is pure CGI and it looks like shit. This red monkey motherfucker. Imagine if this was all just like a real transcription of an actual space mission, a secret one that took place that no one knows about. And they're like, well, we have to disclose this subconsciously to people, so we'll morph it into a movie in some way. Imagine if real people had actually done this. Reality would be so much more interesting if that was true. But reality is always more boring than you think it is, if you're a creative person. If you're a non-creative person, reality is a lot more interesting. If you're an idiot, it's a fucking joyride. The smarter you are, the more depressing reality is. It's the price you pay for intelligence. Ooh, Dr. Smith, the spider's calling to you. Ooh. Now the women are analyzing the STD on the prostate, and they're like, you know what? There's some alarming shit. And your little monkey friend is probably not going to help you. He survived by hiding and camouflaging himself. He is not an expert in cleansing or extermination or anything. And I love this contrived-ass dialogue. This is all just in service of this bad comedy scene with this ape thing. To have the bar be banana beef flavor. What is that, some kind of dick joke? It's like a banana but made of beef. Like a cock? Like, come on, man. That's fucking pathetic. I get it. It's supposed to be, you know, I started out as monkeys and this thing is a monkey alien creature and it eats fruit and meat. It's not the worst diet, but man, I don't want to know what your bowel movements are going to be if you eat only fruit and meat. That's going to be... You get some veggies in there. You got to reduce your sugar intake a bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm no expert, but maybe for this monkey, that's the ideal diet. In any case, the scene's stupid. In any case, the banana beef flavor combination distracts me from the entire progression of the show because it's so fucking dumb. No human would want something that tastes like banana beef. Maybe plantains and beef? I've actually eaten plantains as a side for beef, but plantains are not bananas. They're starchy, sweet potato-y kind of things. That's why they go well with beef. Anyway, we're banding back from the granola bar subplot here. The spiders are puncturing their way into the prostate through its weak points. Very serious. The monkey is freaking out. I love the robot voice, which is actually the son's voice. And again, we have real props with CGI added to them, which isn't the worst thing. This movie, it's kind of like Alien 3, which probably I'll do a commentary on at some point, where the CGI is used sparingly, and that's always best, because when it sucks, that means you don't see it too much. And when it's good, that means it's hidden amongst real objects, which diminishes its shittiness and also potentially makes it look creepy and out of place. I love this. The kid's straight up going into fucking Valve AI. I don't know. What do they call it? Not AI. Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking old. He's got a fucking VR headset on, full body VR. Man, I remember there were toys that came out when this movie came out of the robot, and I nabbed one in the early zeros as a kid from some thrift store. So I had a toy that had like those robot claws. Fuck, that was fun. Then there was some expensive like $200 robot fully articulated version of this thing, and I wanted it so fucking bad. I was like, fuck Transformers, which is my usual pick of poison at that age. I was like, oh man, I just want this robot from this one movie. Because I never got that robot, that explains why I'm a fuck up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this design is cool, man. It was very iconic at the time. This movie was shilled relentlessly. If you went to a Burger King, it was this movie, and then around the same time, either before or after it, Wild Wild West. If you went to any fast food restaurant in the States, you were either getting shilled this movie or Wild Wild West. The producers made some deal with fast food places, and fuck, that shit was everywhere. Couldn't escape it. God, I love this line here. I'd trade it all back for a lousy can of Raid. Again, horribly corny, shitty line, but the way he delivers it, and then they hit you with the fucking metallic mask immediately after that, and then the fact that this laser gun moves every time it fires, like the barrel undulates a little bit, it like, there's a kickback. but it's like contained within the barrel. That's so fucking cool, man. As a kid, I was like blown away by that. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. That's why I play Fallout now, because the half the guns function like that. Give me a Watts laser rifle or an Institute rifle, and I feel like this guy. I feel like Joey from Friends. He's playing a mini game where he has to keep the enemies from the door, but ooh, they've adapted. They're like Borg. They're very smart. No, it's not that easy. I love the blue blood too, to make it like Euro friendly. Like, we don't want to see red blood. We've seen enough of that in our history. Please make the blood blue now. Oh, what? Like blue, like it's already, like it's still under the veins of your vampiric victims, you Nosferatu fucks? Red blood is blood that's already been spilled. It's been oxygenated. Blue blood is still in the veins. Can still make adrenochrome out of it. Blue is a more insidious color than red in that sense specifically. So blue blood doesn't really redeem your violence there. It just cloaks it a little bit. How about purple blood? What about that? What would that look like? Green blood? Vulcan blood? I don't know. Guys, let's combine color theory with esoteric schizo vampire interpretations of blood and see what we can come up with. Turns out it's nothing. Turns out it's just me filling time because this is a boring action scene with bad CGI, and I don't want to talk about it. Leave my robot virtual son behind. Ooh, very important scene. They slowed things down. The spider scratched him. Apparently, and I'll spoil this, apparently the spiders can impregnate hosts or victims just by scratching them, which is not established at all and never explained in this. That's why this movie sucks. Events just sort of happen, and then you're like expected to be like, oh, we retconned it 2 hours later. Oh, the fucking mini CDs. God damn, that's cool. But anyway, basically Dr. Smith just got spider raped, and he now has spider eggs in the middle of his back, where that spider scratch is. The scratch was some kind of infection or impregnation. It was some sort of genetic implantation, mutation, who knows what it was. Again, it's never explained. The guy who's infected is a doctor, and we never get an explanation for this. But finally, they're leaving the prostate. They have gotten what they came for, apparently. Calls the guy a bug. It's a hell of an insult. Oh, shit. Ooh, the herpes virus. It's about to infect our nice Jupiter ship, our nice clean ship. And they start trying to shoot torpedoes at them. Doesn't work. And then finally, the woman is like, okay, let's scan this leg. Good move, good thinking. The fucking adamantium metal excuse. Just say silicon based. That's all you needed to say. You didn't have to augment it with an epic young adult science fiction bullshit term like adamantium. God. So now Joey's hacking the Proteus, and he's like, okay, if they're attracted to heat and light, let's track them to the prostate. There they go. Woo! And now he's going full military hypnotized NPC drone. I must kill the enemy. Totally ignores our Fallout 4 dad's instructions, blows up the whole ship, including all the evidence and archival information that might have helped them get the fuck out of here. He just blows it up. This would be like finding the Library of Alexandria and there was a spider on one of the texts. There's a little egg sac stuck to one of the scrolls or something. And it's like, well, we better burn the whole library down because one text had a spider on it. That's how retarded this guy is. Again, he's very accurate. Joey from Friends, if it was the same character, would probably do this. He would probably be this stupid. This movie's such crap. How am I even wasting my time doing a commentary on it? What is my life that I'm doing this? I can't help it, guys. I watched this movie too many times as a kid. It's burned into my brain. I have to channel it into this comedic review to get out of my head. So I never think of a quote from it ever again. CGI's not bad. Again, the planet and the ship are actually props. A lot of this is miniatures, which is what makes it good. That's a miniature. The whole planet is a miniature. Man, the people making this, it's like they got to play Warhammer 40K with miniatures, and then they got paid for it. Imagine that. The brief reprieve before the crash. Ooh. God, these miniatures look so good, man. Now I know I remember this movie because it wasn't just CGI diarrhea being poured into my eyes. It was actual filmmaking. There was real effort put into it. Yes, there's CGI, but it's minimally used. This movie is made according to the sort of Jurassic Park ethos of you use CGI only in cases when miniatures are not feasible. God, this guy's dialogue is so fucking bad. Dorothy in Kansas. Oh, I'm a campy British villain. Blah, 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 blah. Just wait till we get to the older version of Will, where they straight up just ADR'd his entire roster of dialogue. I couldn't believe it when I realized that. I was like, how the fuck could they do that? And I'm looking up the actor's name now because I've forgotten it again. But it's a famous British actor, Jared Harris. Jared Harris is a brilliant actor. Everything he's been in is great, except this. This is his one shame, the one stain on his otherwise blemishless career is this fucking movie. Ugh. I think he's probably the one who made the demand where he's like, I did a bad American accent, or the dialogue is so bad in this, I don't want my voice attached to it. So now these two guys are having a nice dick fencing session right after they've realized that life support is almost failing. If you're a real man, you wouldn't succumb to a childlike 13-year-old locker room dispute. When I was younger, I took their side in this. I was like, oh, they're angry and they needed to talk and be angry at each other. And the mom is a cunt for coming in and shutting them down. Now that I'm over the age of 30, I'm like, these guys are being retards. And it's not because the characters are written to be that way. It's unrealistic and the writing is terrible. But even despite that, this moment when she comes in and goes, you guys are just hosing the desks down with testosterone. That's a polite way of saying you guys are just drinking each other's cum while all of us try to actually solve the problems. Again, a real man would not have a childish dispute. He would be like, holy shit, life support's failing. Let's put aside our differences about the mistake that got us into this and just try to get out of it. Again, that's a very idyllic, maybe too generous interpretation of human potential and men and women and everything. But what I'm really trying to say is I don't look at this scene the same way. And then I do love the line where Joey's like, hey, you married a real male to female assertive type of person there, didn't you? And he goes, hell yeah, I did, of course. I'm a scientist. I'm a nerd. You know, it was either that or a hologram. It was either her or whatever the Blade Runner 2049 fake AI girlfriend was. Yeah, I'm sure the itchy, bulbous alien sting mark on your back means nothing, man. You're a doctor and you're supposed to be the ingenious, creepy British scientist villain in this, and you don't care that you just got scratched by an alien. You didn't even bother to check. That makes complete sense. You have all these Machiavellian machinations where you've... Actually, you know what? They all failed because you were an idiot. So maybe it tracks that this guy wouldn't even evaluate himself. Maybe he's so stupid that he wouldn't even do that. So you know what, guys? I got to give that little plot point... I got to give it a hand wave. I got to give him credit. You know what? That's consistent. Dr. Smith is a Ponzi moron who's trying to pretend he's smarter than he is. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe this movie's actually genius. Spoiler alert, it's not. I know our emo poster chick wants to keep this alien as a pet. And this creepy doctor, older sister of hers, probably just wants to dissect the thing. Both bad takes. But of course this thing is going to end up saving the day somehow. Honestly, I don't remember what it does later on. I just know that her saying blorp, when I heard her say that when I was 13, it did something to me. Fundamentally. The word blorp will forever be a sexual trigger for me after this movie. I blame everyone involved with this for that permanent scar on my psyche. If any of my future partners are watching this video and you want to know how to get me off, just whisper blorp into my ear. Again, this series is based on the Swiss Family Robinson, and these two poster parents are 100% Swiss family. The wife always looks like she's traumatized, no matter what expression she makes. It's the shape of her eye sockets or something. Something in her facial structure. No matter what emotion she's meant to convey, she looks like she's just seen... She looks like she's just seen the Holocaust take place in front of her eyes at 500 times speed, and she's trying to process it. Like she's about to puke from sheer, I don't know, sheer emotional overload. Like I think one of her eyes is just slightly lower than the other or something. I don't know. And now Dr. Smith is going to make the case to West. Quick, mutiny with me. I'll suck your dick. Your butt chin is very attractive to me. I'm a British villain. I'm obviously gay. He's trying to appeal to his soldierly qualities, which does, I guess, track because Joey here disobeyed father's command to not blow up the prostate. He said, no, I'm going to do it. So Smith is like, well, this guy's so impulsive and stupid, I'm going to try to manipulate him blatantly at a moment when his adrenaline is at 0. So even Joey is smart enough at this point to be like, you're an idiot. Not everybody is a slimy leech like you. God, the dialogue in this is like, again, it's like Dane Cook. It's like a Dane Cook routine. The timing is totally comedic and corny, but it's played straight. This movie... It approaches Alien Resurrection, where the tonal inconsistency is so vast. It's like the two tones that this is trying to establish are like on opposite ends of the universe. So when they try to clash, it's either a nuclear nightmare or it's a comedic masterpiece. This movie doesn't quite reach the point that Alien Resurrection does, where there's so many contradictions and everything is so dumb, and yet played so straight that it becomes brilliant. This movie is only brilliant to me because, again, I I had a VHS and then a DVD of this when I was a kid, and I watched it probably 50 times. So I had no intellectual experience and no context for the visuals I was seeing. I just saw the same visuals over and over again and heard the same dialogue. So at different points in my development while watching this, I ascribed significance to this movie in different contexts. So it's endured in my brain. And this scene, my God. God, I hate this scene. So fucking dumb. It's like humans make constellations because we're trying to comfort ourselves because we feel lost. No one's ever made that point before in any media, man. You know what? You're the first. Copernicus, Galileo, the ancient Greeks, the Romans, none of them ever actually looked at constellations like this. No scientist has ever done this. This movie's breaking new ground. This scene is so poignant and emotional. And this chick's a lot smarter than him. She knows he's a moron. And I don't know why she's humoring him. She must be testing him, man. This is where this movie is sort of rubbing shoulders with Burnt Orange Heresy for like an instant, where the woman is testing him. It's like, how dumb are you? It's like... And the guy, he oversteps his bounds. He's like, can I fuck you now? We were in cryosleep and I wanted to fuck you then. I had so many wet dreams I overloaded the semen cleaning system in my suit. Can we fuck right now? Right on this console? And she fucking baits him. She's like, oh yeah, sure bro, I'll fuck you. Right here on this console. How dumb are you? Do you really think I'm serious? Or are you that stupid? And again, this character's supposed to be kind of dumb. I get it. Then she pours water on his head. She's like, what if I squirted on you? Haha, you wouldn't be ready for that. Why don't you just hang onto your joystick? Literally telling him, why don't you just go grab your cock and jerk off? I didn't get that reference till I was a lot older than the first several times I watched this film. Doesn't make it better. It's still crap. This movie still sucks ass. The scene with the parents is a little more interesting because they're actually talking about their concerns here. And, you know, it's more exposition. This movie sucks. It feels like exposition. All dialogue is exposition. The trick is making it seem like it's not. Good dialogue, you don't even feel like it's exposition. This, it's like, we have to do X, Y, Z. The next part of the movie will be us trying to do X, Y, Z. That's the point of this scene, is to spell out to the Mongoloid viewers that that's what's going to happen. And of course, we have the same tired thread, you know, your youngest son, you didn't pay enough attention to him. Now we're on an alien planet. Now you really have to pay attention to him. Oh my God, I'm gonna pillow fight you in the head. And then there'll be a funny, tension-dissolving moment between us. Very epic. Little boys have to understand the NASA PSYOP better than anybody else, because they're the #1 victims of it. They're what we're trying to hypnotize. That's just what this movie's saying to me, guys. Some creepy implications. Oh, now I'll touch your moustache gently. I'll touch your beard. Ooh, now the doors will close before we fuck. But poor Joey, he's out in the cold. The snow is blowing, and he's going to have to blow himself. He's going to have to really stretch his spine to get his mouth around that cock. Again, miniatures in this scene. Great use of miniatures in this. I really have to say, unironically, this is really well done in terms of set design. The chair the kid's sitting on is real. The console is a real thing. A lot of what we're seeing now is CGI. But the ship crashing was a miniature. The Proteus was a miniature. Maybe. My point is the miniatures, when they do exist in this movie, are very good. So now they're having their morning coffee. My God, they're very epically stranded even though they're in a technological wonderland on their ship where they can have clean water and bespoke coffees and everything. Everything they could ever want. God, Penny's fucking shirt there. God, your delivery, man. Time travel is impossible. Again, this is like Starfield, man. Another reason I was prompted to do a commentary on this is because I played through Starfield. The dialogue in Starfield and the dialogue in this are on the same fucking sewer level of shittiness. It's bad. It's really bad. The kid's performance and Joey's performance are on the same level as how bad the dialogue's written, so that's when it really hits you. It's when the cringe gets injected right into your veins. The other actors are more seasoned and they can cover up how bad the dialogue is. Even Gary Oldman, who has some of the worst lines in this, because he's a seasoned performer, he knows how to use inflection and voice acting trickery to make bad dialogue seem not so bad. But Joey from Friends and the kid actor, they're the worst offenders. Their lines, my God, makes me want to scoop my inner ear out and serve it to a fancy couple at a restaurant as if it was an oyster. You know, my coccyx would be on some bed of salt, and some rich fuck would slurp it up. That's what I feel like doing when I listen to these lines being delivered by the kid or by Joey. It's fucking painful, man. It's Anakin Skywalker tier. It's why episode 1 was such ass. And I never even want to mention Star Wars. It's had enough praise and enough criticism. It deserves to be fucking forgotten. Bury it. I will never do a review of any Star Wars product. I will make that promise to you now. Shit like this doesn't get reviews. It's part of the reason I'm doing it. Anyway, rubber banding back to the movie. We have a scene where there's an attempt at reconciliation. The dad's like, I know I wasn't there for 10 out of the 12 science fairs you've won first prize in. I know that I'm a soulless Fallout 4 scientist, man, and you're basically just some kind of test tube experiment, but I genuinely do love you, and now I'm telling it to you several years late. Hope you agree with me. And he's like, I'll leave it to my voice actor in the later part of this movie to express to you just how much I give a shit. Because Jared Harris, when he played the older version of Will, gave so much of a shit that he said, I don't want my voice to be in this. Or the producers said they didn't. Either way, situation 1 is he hated his performance and said, dub it. Situation 2 is the producers were like, this is so bad we have to dub it. And it's bad. It's really bad. We'll get there, guys. I promise. You'll know what I'm talking about in about 25 minutes. This chick's being a super cunt to him. Ha ha, very funny. That's like a scene straight out of Friends. It's like something Phoebe would have said to Joey. They're not even trying to hide the fact that whoever the actor who plays Joey is, I don't give a shit. He's a working man. I give him respect. In this movie specifically, he fucking sucks. In Friends, I'm sure he's fine. I hate Friends. I don't enjoy it. It's boring as fuck to me. But in this movie, he sucks ass. I'm only criticizing this film, not the actor as a person. I want to make that clear, because I respect actors. Acting is not easy. Even if you're a bad actor and you get roles, it means you've done something right. It means you've worked. It means you got up at 7 a.m. and stayed on set till 10 p.m. That's not easy to do. If you work construction, it's the same expenditure of effort in a different form. You're still going to be exhausted and hate your life at the end of the day. You're not going to have muscle aches. You're going to have migraines, depression, anxiety, and all sorts of other crazy shit if you're an actor. versus being a construction worker. So again, Joey, shout out. You're a good man. And shout out to whoever did the CGI in this scene because it sucks, according to our standards now. But for the time, as a kid, watching this, blew me away. I was like, my God, it's like liquid glass that's trying to solidify as they go through it. And then it becomes a bubble again once they're back through it. And the vegetation looks different, the climate's different. It's fucking cool, man. It's like an old science fiction short story. And then we cut back to our epic child prodigy. And this scene I always loved as a kid where he's trying to revive the robot. And they couldn't resist making a reference to the original Lost in Space with this glass receptacle with the 3 lights. That's exactly what the robot in the original Lost in Space looked like. And the voice actor for this is also a reference. I don't know his name, but I know he's a reference to some famous science fiction thing. I think he might have been a Simpsons voice actor, actually. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, as if anyone would ever quote this channel. But the robot's voice, the choice of that voice actor is a reference to something. That's not a bad line. It's corny, but I don't mind it. Make new friends. I'll just fucking make a robot. Why not? Blade Runner 2049 did the same thing, and they were like, it's so serious that he has an AIGF. This movie did it fucking 20 years earlier. And they did it lightheartedly. And this movie has vlogs. Self-important, fart-sniffing, ego-serving, femoid vlogs. This movie, man, this movie predicted fucking the entire internet. Like 90% of it in 2024. My father would have liked you. Can we know a little bit about him? That reference has no meaning because we've had no prior introduction to your father's character. Yeah, decades old. The thick layer of dust and dirt didn't imply that already. You had to spell it out. Whoa, but he's shot in the back. Ooh. There's too much action going on for you to question the inconsistencies in the plot. Just follow the bullets. Oh, everyone's getting shot. Oh shit, that robot looks a lot like the one Will is building. Could it be the same? Yes, danger, danger, they had to do that, blah, blah, blah. Most people watching this commentary probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but of course this series is based on a 1950s TV series called Lost in Space, where the robot said, danger, danger. That's all you have to know. It's a very old reference. And then, oh, who's trying to communicate with the little boy? It's our creepy, sexually ambiguous? Good lord, I gotta stop drinking. It's our creepy British guy, is what I'm trying to say. This kid's got a straight up gat. Holy shit. He's like 8. Imagine a movie in 2024 that had even one scene with a kid holding, like, any lethal weapon. That's nuts. The West has fallen, guys. 6 billion spiders must die. 6 million Dr. Smiths must die. He's straight up staring at him holding a gun. And Dr. Smith's like, well, I'll have to manipulate you with words. He's telling him a nice Lovecraftian short story here. Yeah, blah, 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 bro. Man, his jacket, he looks like he's fucking about to teleport into Kingdom Hearts. He's got enough buckles to be the protagonist of a Japanese RPG. Look at the buckles on that thing. Again, this is very campy. The problem that this movie has is that it's so tied to its source material that it has scenes like this that are both serious and campy. You can't do that. You can't have a 1950s dialogue exchange with edgy, late 90s, early zeros, sci-fi aesthetics and seriousness of tone applied to it. It doesn't work. It's like oil and water. You can't do it. That's why this movie sucks. That's why, unlike Alien Resurrection, it's boring and shitty unless you watch my commentary while you watch it and like and subscribe. If you do that, you're fine. If you like and subscribe, watch my commentary while you watch old movies and shitty stuff like this, then you'll be okay. If you don't, well, you're going to be very bored. You're going to give up on media in general, go live in a cabin in the woods, and deprive civilized urban society of your useful critiques that could make it better. Oh, Dr. Smith, you're stuck with Will in the... I don't even know what this shit is. It's like the labyrinth, fart swamp, stinky nut hair pustule forest. This is some weird shit. And of course, Will just rushes in. He's like, I want to find my dad, so baby, here I go. Stepping between two rooms, yeah. That's all it is. Ooh, I like how we get the first-person perspective of the time barrier there. All the glass shards. It's like going through a shadowed mirror. Isn't that interesting? Ooh, and Dr. Smith, ever the dark character, is of course the one who discovers the graves. And it turns out Penny's blog wasn't total bullshit. And despite the styrofoam grave that could have come out of Plan 9, because it doesn't fall over convincingly, it looks like it's made of styrofoam because it is, Dr. Smith has recovered something interesting. Chekhov's gun of Penny's recorder has paid off. There's her grave, her styrofoam grave. You're on an alien planet and you have the remains of a ship made of metals and you couldn't make a gravestone? There's even stone on the planet, guys. I'm pretty sure I saw rock faces. They could have fashioned a gravestone out of real stone, but ooh, turns out they didn't care about Penny enough to do that. And I love how the robot in this, rubber banding back to the scene that we're seeing, the robot looks spider-like. It has a sort of protruding head and thinner arms. So there's a spider aesthetic that's being advanced here. Now again, here we have the saddest, most pathetic use of Jared Harris in all of media. Because, fuck me if I'm wrong, that is not Jared Harris's voice. And you can tell by his lips. You can just look at the show. It's like a badly dubbed anime. Jared Harris may have re-recorded the vocals later. But again, his father's head's covering up his mouth. Now we cut to his father We can't see his mouth moving. He's in darkness now. Can't see his mouth correctly. It's the sound of his voice, man. Even this guy doing an American accent. Either he would do it better than this, or they wouldn't have gone with that option. They would have just had him not be cast. He shows him the dog tags. Pay attention.
I'm your son, Will. Hello, my voice is the voice of Jared Harris. I am definitely him.
That is not Jared Harris, man. I will die on that cross. That is somebody else. I haven't researched this straight up. I'm not going to alt-tab out and research this shit. Fuck it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I don't care. It's still badly done. If it was ADR or whatever, it sucks. But this matte painting doesn't. This is like classic Star Trek. It's a great matte painting of the cannibalized Jupiter. He sounds younger, too. He's like, I used your hyper engine. It's a younger American voice actor that they've dubbed in. That's what they've done. He's like, I fucked with Jupiter and made some abomination time travel thing. I made CERN using Jupiter energy. I found the God particle. And now I'm using it for selfish, bullshit reasons. Putting all of time and space at risk. Look at his lips here. Well, maybe it is Jared Harris. I don't know. It's too breathy and maybe I'm full of shit. No, that's not him. That sounds like a Skyrim voice actor.
Today, I will change history.
Jared Harris was either totally checked out for this, or they did ADR, or it's a different voice actor doing ADR. It could be Jared Harris doing ADR, but nobody cares about this tangent, so let's get off of it.
He's like, son, you've turned Jupiter into a prolapsed anus. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with you?
So the idea is this portal technology is infectious. It could rupture space-time. Kind of like how nukes, when they were invented, the scientists who invented them, and this is not a joke or an exaggeration or a conspiracy, there was about a 5% chance that they would set the entire atmosphere on fire and kill all life on Earth. That's a real thing. Look it up. They did it anyway. That's not his voice, man. Let me tell you about Father from Fallout 4. Mankind redefined. This is like if you side with the railroad, you end up as this guy. I prefer the Subversion mod, which I really want you all to listen to and understand and acknowledge. If you're playing Fallout 4, install the Subversion mod, where you can actually get a good ending in that game through diplomacy, tradecraft, subtlety, and a little bit of elbow grease. You can make the Institute, the Railroad, the Minutemen, and the Brotherhood all not be retarded. Basically, it retcons the retarded writing of Fallout 4. It's not unrealistic. You have to do a lot of weird, crazy, clandestine, desperate shit. But you can get an ending that makes sense. Whereas in the original game, everybody acts like a cardboard cutout psychopath, where they're like, I will not compromise my views. Bethesda has programmed me to go from character point A to character point B. This mod subverts that in a good way. I wouldn't normally condone subversion, but the Subversion mod for Fallout 4, fucking install that shit. It's good. I'm playing Life in the Ruins right now, which I might do a new playthrough and commentary on. But only if Will survives. If Will survives, stupidly giving his gun to Dr. Smith, then I might do a commentary on Fallout Life in the Ruins. So now we've rapidly cut to this scene where, I don't know, Dr. Smith hiked up into the base. There was no security. None of that matters. There's no logical consistency. I'm not even going to try to comment on that. Basically, Smith Deus Ex Machina'd his way up into this base. There was no security, no turrets, no lasers, no cameras, nothing. Even though this guy was able to build a time portal, older Will was able to build this, he couldn't put a fucking camera in front of the base that could have warned him that Dr. Smith was showing up. No. They never expected any resistance, any enemies. Now, this is a scene that used to make me emotional as a kid, where the younger version of the prodigy confronts his older self, and his older self is a fucking nightmare. And the kid doesn't care. He can't see what this older version of him has sacrificed. He can't see the personal cost. All he cares about is the mechanics, the engineering, the math, the logic. He has lost sight of emotion because he never had sight of it in the first place because he's a kid. He doesn't understand. This voice is not his. Oh shit, it's Darth Vader. Ooh. God, his CGI face is so bad. It's creepy though, I'll give him that. They should have just used practical effects.
He's like, oh, I've raped you with my little spiderlings. After the women were raped and killed to create more spiders.
The way he says doctor, doctor. It's like, my God, man, lean more on the fricatives. Holy shit. See, he just throws him. Plot convenience there, because if I was this creepy spider guy, I would have just ate him. I would have ripped his neck out. Because then he wouldn't have been a threat. Because of course he comes back. Because he's not dead.
Dr. Smith, please, I know this is not the voice of the actor that you're seeing. I beg you, save the quality of this film.
He's like, very well. I'll have Madman do a review of it. He's on another planet in a different system. He owes me a favor, though. I tried to infect him, and he was immune, so we had a truce, and, well, he said, if you ever need a favor, give me a call. In return, I gave him a bunch of skip credits that I wasn't going to use. I don't use skip the dishes. I try to grow my food locally. I'm a sort of local, non-GMO type of guy. My spiders like the food, natural, I'm sure you can understand. Now Will is appealing to the AI of the past. This is every AI programmer's wet dream. Well, AI might initiate a dystopian future, but if I were to time travel back and talk to the AI I programmed, it would still remember me. No, it vaporized you, man. It's just a machine. It's like jacking off to a cave painting of a woman from 30,000 years ago, instead of climbing out of the cave and finding a wife. That's the equivalent of like thinking a robot is a person. That's why I love Fallout 4 so much, because that's the only instance other than Blade Runner where I've seen that line being blurred. Where it's like, what if you create a facsimile of a biological system that's equivalently complex, but not conscious? Would consciousness drift into it? That's an interesting question. If it's made of metal or silicone, even if it's conscious, it's not the same kind of conscious. And it requires a different viewpoint. Maybe it is equivalent to a human. Maybe it could be whatever.
All I know is Penny is too thin, and I want to feed her hamburgers because her arms look anorexic. She's stressed out. She's a Hollywood actress. I get it. But you know what? I want to give her a hug, calm her down, give her a burger, and be like, don't give your soul to Hollywood. Whatever happened to this actress? I'm kind of curious, guys. I might have to look this up. I might have to look up what happened to the actress who played Penny. Let's look it up right now. Meena Sundwal. What did she end up doing? Did she do anything interesting after? Oh. What did she do? Okay, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Bunch of low tier type shit. Man, my whole Penny deserved better. She was a real one. Don't put her in them third party roles, man. It's kind of insulting I never knew her name, but again, I haven't exactly watched this series religiously since I was like fucking 13, maybe. This can't be the right person. What the fuck? The constellations in Baby B. They're using the flares. It's very epic. Lacey Chabert. That's the actual actress. Okay. Guys, we're doxing an actress in real life. The next step is to stalk her. I can't wait. Okay, what has she been in since Lost in Space? No, nothing notable. Damn. Shout out to good old Lacey Chabert. I hope she's doing well. I'm definitely not evil, even though I look like Darth Vader times 100. Let's rubber band back to the movie here. Let's forget the past is not an answer to the question of why the spiders never came back. Seems like you're kind of dodging things, bro. Oh, the scene where he sees old Earth for the first time. Imagine being stuck in this shithole for 20 years. You finally see Earth. And this guy's trying to prevent you from going back. What a dick. Now he's finally realizing you were just cucking me. Wow, dude, it only took you 20 years to realize that. What a retard. You deserve to be cucked, man. Sorry, Robinson, but your son in this timeline turned out to be an idiot. Just kill him. Ooh, no. The bad CGI reveals itself. This is where the budget for the movie really went. I am a god. Ooh, he's a Shiva parasite worm demon. Very cool. He's got spiders on his butthole, attached to his ass. Very cool. A little late to say that, bro. Yeet! Yeets him in there. Ugh, his neck is so gross. God, I hate that line. Slap anyone who ever writes that fucking line. You should have killed me when you had the chance. And then he tries to use his son's science fair project, metal. Again, another Chekhov's gun that pays off. I gotta give this series credit. You'd be surprised how few movies bother with that. He tries to use it. Oh, and he's soy facing on him. Woo! And then he cuts him again. Ooh, right in his butt sack. Ooh! Remember the exposition? So the kids are going to eat him because the egg sac was cut. That's not the same thing as eating your wounded. That always bothered me about this scene. You would have had to cut him and then the egg sac. And the guy, you know, Smith hit him in the face, sure. Also, he's getting chewed up by the portal. Smith hit him in the face, but is that enough to... I guess it is with these spiders. I don't know. Oh, you've held on to that foam pipe. Good boy. Your dog tag is supporting your entire 180-pound body weight. It's an adamantium dog tag. Remember adamantium from earlier in the film? That's what the dog tag's made of. That's why it prevented him from dying. Adamantium's very strong. Maybe they should have made the ships out of that. Maybe make some armor out of that so that the spiders don't fuck with you. Ooh, the cock insertion is complete. Here we go. Back to 2058. Ah, the epic brown dystopia. I mean, it's better than an alien planet that's totally fucked. Is about to collapse. You know, lesser of two evils. Again, why the fuck would you bring him back onto the ship, man? They were setting up for a sequel that never happened. Straight up, if we're in the right timeline, there'll be a very delayed sequel to this that brings back all the actors from it who are still alive. And it'll be like, we've been drifting in space for 20 years. Smith has been kept human through medical treatment, but he's still kind of half insane. I would love that. That would be Alien Resurrection tier. If they do a sequel to this, holy shit, man. I'll do a commentary on it. I'll do it. You know what? Scout's Honor, straight up. If a sequel comes out to this adaptation, to this movie, I will do a live commentary on it. I'm going to wear sunglasses and all sorts of shit because I don't want you to see my face. But I will do a commentary on this. If there's a sequel that comes out for this, and it has to use equivalent miniatures and props. It can't be some AI or CGI or some combination of the two bullshit. It has to be faithful. If it comes out, I'll do a live commentary on this. That would be fucking fantastic, man. Man, this is a totally random tangent, but the chair that Joey's in, it looks like the microphone Korn uses. Like that creepy chick microphone. It's like some kind of greebly ass thing. So they've left him behind. They've sacrificed him. Poor bastard. But... ooh, they didn't go the right way. They tried to go up when they should have gone down. As above, so below. Below might be heaven if your perspective is flipped, and the sky might be hell. You don't know till you've already died. God damn. Good scene, man. The balls of any movie, corny or not, to have their main character watch their whole family die. It's like, holy shit, dude. Again, it's corny. It's badly done. But Now we look back in time. Again, that utopian space shit. Starfield at its best captures the moments that this movie also does best. I could never see how much you cared. He did care about you. You were just as blind as he was. Blind leading the blind. Father and son with their walls up, unable to know each other. Ancient theme, Jungian theme, pre-Jungian. That's fucking Epic of Gilgamesh tier shit. Pushes him into the portal. One trip. God, the music in this? That's what saves it. The music saves it. Many such cases, bad movies, you just gotta put a bit of good music in there. I can't voice act in this. They had to ADR me. How does the mom know that's him? That's some contrived shit. Again, corny, terrible. But Schizo Will has to die. And rightly so. He kind of sucks. If he'd been competent, he probably would have gone out of the time bubble and maybe informed his family right after they landed about what to do. Why didn't he do that? There's a million questions you could ask of this series. There's a million logical inconsistencies. I'd love to see Mahler do an 8-hour video on this movie. My God, there's a lot to hate. There's a lot deserving of criticism. Hateful but constructive is fine. As long as it's constructive, it doesn't matter. That felt good to punch someone. I'm Joey from Friends. He's like, I'm from the future, motherfucker. Don't try it. I watched you die. We have to go down. We can make a dramatic scene, like that scene from Phantom Menace where they fly through the water of the planet, but this'll be fire. It'll be great. You sound a lot like the executives making this movie. No, I'm an actor in it. Yes, I'll obey you now, Daddy. I disobeyed you before, and it almost killed us all, so now I'll say yes. God, it's so bad, man. Now we have a CGI fest. You can predict what happens. Man, this sequence, it's reminding me we really got to do a commentary on Titan AE. I can't remember if I tried to do one before and then deleted it, but regardless, we got to do one on that movie. Titan AE is a lot like this. It's very flawed, but the parts of it that are good because they're interesting and they haven't been sufficiently one-upped or replicated. That's what makes movies like this good, is the things they did right haven't been done better. And that makes them more important to remember than a movie that does things right and then some, sequel or some successor to that movie one-ups it. It's like, well, yeah, of course, you're one-upping a movie that was already good. That's easy. To one-up a movie that has flaws is difficult because you have to acknowledge what the flaws are and then address them and surpass them. That's tough. It's a lot tougher. Ooh, through the fire and the flames. Anyway, let's rubber band back to the film as the planet collapses. Ooh, it's pretty epic. Ooh, there it goes. Woo! Man, as a kid, when I saw this I think I saw this in theaters. I want to say I did. In any case, I watched it a bunch of times. This part of the movie, I was always just like chomping at the bit. Like, oh, I can't wait for the sequel. They're definitely going to make a sequel to this, right? Because the world operates according to my desires. And I want a sequel to this. Turns out 99.9% repeating viewers did not give a shit. And so there was no sequel to this. Oh, man. He finally got his epic salival exchange. Very epic. Your digestive tracts united for a brief moment. How holy. How beautiful. Oh, Blarp is blarping away. There he is. I love how sweaty and, like, scuffed the faces of the actors look. It's like, this is before 4K. It's before everybody had to look like a fucking plastic doll. It makes the stakes real because the actors look as sweaty as they are because they're under giant lights to fucking perform the scene. It's great. So again, they're using these scuffed coordinates from the Proteus, and boom, they're off to Alpha Prime. It's a creepy monkey creature, a doctor infected by spiders, and a dysfunctional family. Maybe it's better they didn't make a sequel to this. And then we have the cringiest ever 90s credit sequence that you can possibly imagine. So we're going to cut things as short as possible, and we're going to end the recording here, guys. As the shitty rock music is playing, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I love this movie for entirely undeserved reasons, for entirely self-serving, nostalgic reasons, but it's a good movie. If you grew up around the same time and you watched this movie a bunch of times, you know, shout out to Lacey Chabert. Hope she's doing well. Hope all the other actors are doing well. Gary Oldman is. You don't have to hope he's doing well. Just watch Slow Horses. It's good. In any case, guys, that's the end of the commentary. Drink some water, take your vitamin D, hug a loved one, and get some fucking sun on your face. Don't become Dr. Smith. Don't get infected with spiders. With that having been said, as always, peace out.